So yesterday when we had the evening class on the 入菩萨行论, so we did a reread, and one of the section happened to touch on this very scenario, about relating to one's family members. And I thought that section was quite interesting. So hang on, let me find it and just share it. Okay, right. Share with you, okay? Let's never share. Okay, yeah. So the Bodhichitta Vatara commentary, the 入菩萨行论, we went through the whole text over the past 4 years, from 2016 to around early this year. So we're now doing a quick reread. Yeah, so I'm just reading through, and then on occasions I will touch on some points. Yeah, so this part here, I thought is related. As a parent, how many of you are parents? Okay. How many of you are children? Should be everyone. Those who are parents, do you agree that there is much hardship in raising one's child? Hardship or not? Hardship, or at least difficulty. So the difficulty comes in many shapes and sizes, and due to various reasons. But of all the parents I've met, whether in parents class or in counseling, I find that one of the greatest challenge is no one is born to be a parent. Yeah, no one is like some people think that, oh, he's just cut out to be a parent. No such thing. But when we are children, it appears to us like our parents know everything, or at least they make us feel like they know everything. I don't know about the children nowadays, okay? But when I was a kid, it feels like my parents know everything. Like they decide everything and they seem to know everything also. But as I grow up and I talk to more and more parents, then I realized that actually it's not true. No? They don't know everything. Yeah, they don't know everything. In fact, half the time they are just trying things out. Yeah, half the time they are trying to figure things out. And then the worst thing is that they try on the first child, it seems to work. Then try on the second child, it cannot work. What happened? At least with the computer, you press this button today work, tomorrow will work. You know, at least if you do experiment, you put hydrochloric acid inside, have this reaction, tomorrow will still be this reaction, unless there's contamination or something. But for children, work on this one, don't work on this one. Worse still, today work, tomorrow don't work. Yeah, as I grow up, I start to have a lot of, can you say realization? Surprise, I would say. When we are small kids, teachers seem to know everything. Yeah. But as I grow up, I also start to realize teachers don't know everything. And sometimes teachers can get things wrong also. They mark the paper there, they get the question, the answer wrong. Or sometimes the question itself is wrong. Yeah, when I was in secondary school, quite a few, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but a few times, I found that my teachers' questions were either wrong or it isn't tight enough. Yeah, especially in mathematics. Yeah, in humanity subject, it's a bit subjective, and then your word against the teacher's words are hard to prove or disprove anything. Including even when I was younger, I feel that this one maybe people will feel sensitive, but I'm gonna say anyway. When I was younger, I feel like the country knows everything, the government know everything. But as I grew up, I realized they also don't know everything. They're also trying to figure things out. But if you if you just capture this part, I think someone will get into trouble. But let me say this first, and let me say the government part first. Actually, this makes me appreciate our country and government even more. Yeah, because I start to appreciate how tough it actually is, whether it's for the country's leaders or our teachers or our parents. Because if they know everything, it's very simple, then how can they get anything wrong? But precisely because they are actually trying to figure things out. But how can they just be trying to figure things out? Because you can never know everything, you know. Unless you're Buddha. But last I checked, none of us have Buddha as the parents. Yeah, so as I grow up, and I see more, I meet more people, I start to appreciate that actually a lot of people are having a tough time. Parents are having a tough time. Yeah. Teachers are having a tough time. Everybody is having a tough time simply because we don't know enough. We don't know everything. Yeah. And of course, we also lack the wisdom to figure things out. But to me, that doesn't reduce my appreciation and respect for them. In fact, it deepens my respect for them. That without knowing everything, they still put in effort to try, you know. And they still try so hard to make us feel safe that don't worry, to make us feel like they know everything. We can also look at it from another point of view that, oh, they are very proud or they want to have absolute control. But actually, our parents, I like to think that our parents do that because if they just tell us from day one, I also don't know what I think the kids will be like, huh? Can you imagine 3-year-old? And mommy, like that how? I also don't know that. What do you think? Die. Yeah, so parenting is a very tough thing. And so as a result of that, we sometimes can't help but lose control of our emotions. We get mad at our children because it's so frustrating. Like when I try to put myself in parents' shoes, it'd be like, well, hey, why can't you just like, work with me, you know? I'm trying to help you here. It's like imagine the parent is a lawyer, right? And then like your client, you're trying to help a client, it's like, I'm trying to fight for a case here. Can you work with me? But in a way, actually, I had an advantage because towards the end of my uni, I actually volunteered in Shanyu Counseling Center as a befriender counselor, para counseling. And one of the first cases I received was a delinquent from Manju Street. And one of the things that we were trained in or we were taught was, number one, I mean, there are many things, but this is just a highlight on what is relevant. And it is that we should not impose our values on our case. That means the case that we are counseling, we don't impose our personal values. We can help them explore the options, you know, share with them different points of view, but not to so-called judge them, not to impose our values onto them. And from there, then we shouldn't be so-called emotionally invested, in a sense that we shouldn't then get upset with them or something like that. Okay. Here, emotion is not 谈感情 no, not 感情 but not to be emotionally affected, so to speak. But once you impose your value, the emotion will come. You don't impose value, emotion rarely come up. Yeah. So I would meet my case once a week. Standard practice is once a week we'll meet them. Then once a month we'll go back to the center and then do de-counseling. Yeah, we'll share with our supervisor the ongoings, and then they will ask us questions, to explore the progress and so on and so forth. Of course, it's actually very basic kind of befriending counseling, not anything to shout about. But the interesting thing is that after maybe about 1 or 2 months, in one of the debrief session, so I remember the supervisor is actually my elder sister's friend from secondary school, I think. Pui Ling. Is it your friend? I think so. Is it Pui Ling? Pui something, Pui Ling. Anyway, the name is not important, but I always like to recall the full thing. So I share. Then at some point, I told my supervisor, I said, can I just tell you something very honestly? And she's like, oh, why? I said, I know we're not supposed to be emotionally affected. Yeah, not supposed to impose our value. But to be very honest, I'm very frustrated with my case. She looked at me, and I said, yeah, because talk to him. This week okay, that week okay. Then suddenly, didn't turn up for school again. Then the following week, so what happened? Talk. Oh, okay, yeah, I have my aspiration is to do this, do that, do. Okay, try. Then next week, okay. Then again, don't turn up for school. I'm like, it's very frustrating. And when I told her this, I was basically throwing in the white towel. I was basically like, forget it, fire me. I mean, I didn't tell her to fire me, but because I know in the training it's like we're not supposed to do this, and I just cannot take it. So you know what the supervisor told me? I was expecting her to say like, well, then I'm afraid we have to take you out of the case. Yeah, I was expecting her to say this, but instead she said, okay, good. I was like, good, me, good. And she said, yeah, it's good. Because the truth is, everybody will be affected. Yeah, that's why we tell you, we forewarn you and want you to be aware of that. The fact that you are telling us means that, number one, you're aware of how you feel, that of your state, in the midst of your counseling. And secondly, you are being honest. Yeah, you are able to come and tell me that this is happening. This is very important. It is good. Both you fire, never get fired. And then she told me something else. She said, the truth is that many others who also would have gone through this, but either they are not aware or they don't dare to say. Yeah. So I thought, I totally didn't expect that. Yeah. Partly because after that, the case also reached Sec 5 and then passed out now. So it's off my case. Yeah, because we only, at that point in time, we were collaborating with the school. Then after that, I was assigned some other cases, including those who are terminally ill. Yeah, I think I handled 1 or 2 who are ill. There were three or 4 categories we handled: delinquents, and then elderlies, and terminally ill. Yeah. in a way, the delinquents are the easiest lah. The terminally ill can be tricky, Mm. So it's so from various experiences such as this, in a way, I start to appreciate how parents must really feel, you know. Yeah. And that's why whenever parents come and see me, I always tell them, 辛苦了. I hear them talk, then, and many times I just say, 你们辛苦了. Well, I tell them, 眼泪直出. Before that, talk, yeah, and it made me realize that how tough it must have been for my parents. Mm. Yeah, and similarly for all the parents, not easy. So this text then goes on to say that if we can continue to work on raising one's children with bodhicitta motivation. Yeah. What is bodhicitta motivation? Bodhicitta is, simply put in brief, the wish to attain Buddhahood in order to liberate sentient beings. In a nutshell, your wish to benefit sentient beings. Yeah. We usually think of Buddhahood as an end goal. But in the Mahayana teaching, actually Buddhahood is not an end goal. Benefiting sentient being is the end goal. Yeah. In the Huayan I always reuse. In the Vatamsaka Sutra, the Huayan, the Bodhi tree is the path, the Bodhi fruit is Buddhahood, but the roots is sentient beings. Yeah, the roots is sentient beings. And if you think about it, the connection is very interesting. From the fruit, then you drop this. From the fruit, then you have the roots again, ma. Yeah, and then they say, what nourishes the roots? Great compassion. Yeah, the shower of the rain of great compassion. Yeah. So if you combine the text if the text they are not in opposition, even though from different lineage, but all talking about bodhicitta, about the bodhisattva path, about Mahayana path. If we were to approach our children with bodhicitta motivation and intent, it doesn't mean worship them like, wow, you are Guru Rinpoche, then whatever the children ask, then you do. Yeah, because inside it says you should see your children as precious as your Guru. As precious as your Guru, that doesn't mean whatever your children ask you to do, you do. Yeah, that means you don't have any thoughts of ill will or anger or frustration towards them. Yeah, you try your best to, that means you take upon yourself like you are the teacher of the Guru. You know, like for example, Dalai Lama, he also have teacher when he was a kid. So you have a very heavy responsibility, you know. How do you groom this to become the future Buddha? And I must say, one of the most important thing is take care of ourselves first. Hey, Sifu, I thought we are supposed to look after our children. No. A lot of parents fail to take care of themselves. Take care of ourselves means take care of your emotions, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your physical well-being. Because if you are sick physically, if you're unstable emotionally or mentally, how can you be a model, an example for your children? 言教不如身教. Verbal teaching is inferior compared to exemplary teaching. Our children emulate what we do, what we say. Yeah. What we say in a sense of what? What we say in general, not what we say to them. They don't emulate what we say to them. Yeah. They will emulate. You tell them cannot do this, they will tell you back, Papa, you say cannot do this. You tell them must sleep, they will tell you, Papa, how come you don't sleep? Mama, how come you don't sleep? So they will emulate exactly what you tell them. They will not follow what you say. they will emulate what you say. Correct? All the parents, they will. That's why when my mother tell me to sleep, although I don't want to sleep, I have nothing to say against her. Because 10 plus, she eyes half closed already. Actually, 9 plus, she's already like drunk already. She don't drink. I never, in my whole life, I never see her take one drop of alcohol. But by 9 plus 10, she's already mabuk already. Yeah. When we are in primary school, our family is run like a communist state. Sleep means sleep, cannot. Yeah. But anyway, we sleep at about 9. Long story. The point is that my parents, at least for my parents, and I'm sure many of the parents, you observe yourself in the areas where you do what you say, your children will follow. Even if they do it begrudgingly, they will follow. Yeah. But if it's a standard for you, a different standard for them, then they will scratch their head. Then they will have a lot of dun, 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 question mark. But not just that. Take care of your emotions. Yeah, if you can take care of your emotions, to me, that is a very valuable lesson for your children. I think a lot of parents focus on technical skills for their children. They send them to piano, they send them to learn ballet, they learn a lot of things, a lot of skills. Skills are good, skills are useful, and indirectly skills train the children in different ways. Like they say that when you learn piano, it improves your dexterity, yeah, and that develops the brain, that helps in other ways of thinking, you know. We send our children to school, to tuition, or tuition, if you will. My whole life is tuition. Then suddenly one day it becomes tuition. I'm like, oh, isn't that serious? Nothing is fixed. I tell you, at this time of my life, I realized, anything can change one. So we do all that for our children, but increasingly, I see that at least for it's a general trend, not any parents in particular, but a general trend is we sometimes miss out on the values. Yeah, we miss out on the values. In our pursuit for material progress, we get blindsided, we get sidetracked. Yeah, we forget about the values. Just give you one simple example. Most parents are struggling with handphones with their children. So one parent came to me and told me, "Su, you know how I managed to get the handphone back from my children?" She was sharing with me quite with some tinge of a pride, like, wow, I managed to do it, you know, and maybe hoping that I give endorsement, like, wow, well done, not bad. So this is what she said. She said she asked her children, her son, you must stop playing. Give me the handphone. Then the children refused. Yeah, the son refused. So she told her son, let me ask you, you don't return me, right? And one, who bought the handphone? Then the son, mommy. Who paid for handphone? Mommy. So the handphone is bought and paid for by mommy. So this belongs to mommy. So I have the right to take it back. Next time, when you have your own money, you buy your own handphone, then you can decide. Then the child, seems logical, then will be not return. So when I heard this, I look at her and I told her, oh no. Then she said, And I told her, I said, I'm sure you see this with a good intent. And everything seems to be logical, right? And on top of that, okay, bye Venice. And it seems to also highlight the importance of hard work, right? Yeah, that you work and you get to keep what you work for, right? The value of hard work to earn your own keep seems to be a good value. But I told her this, I said, there's a problem with the phrasing and the way it's being presented. Because indirectly, the bottom line that you are teaching him, or the bottom line that he end up learning is money rules. Money talk big. If you have money, you can decide. And for a while, she didn't didn't get it. It's almost like my student is like, so what's wrong with that, you know? I said, you must always remember, money is only an enabler. Money enables you to buy things. It doesn't decide whether you should buy it or not. Money is the how part. How do you get it? Pay with money. There's another way to get it. Steal. Rob. Right? Correct or not? There are many ways to get things, borrow, right? Back, borrow, steal, buy, right? There are different ways to get things, right? Money just decide on how to get it. And among all the different approaches, it is the more, it is the legal way and the more proper way. But it shouldn't decide why you should buy it. Yeah. The why should be whether you need it versus whether you want it, whether it's meaningful for you and others. Why do you want to buy it, right? When we say, why do you want to buy it? It should never be because I have money, right? But these days, there's this crazy idea. You do it because you can. Si liao lo. On internet, and among the youth, the young people, started in the West, and then now Singaporean kids also start to, because we can, and say it like with pride, you know, and almost like a funny thing. If that's the case, then Sifu knows Taekwondo, no? Can I just go around whacking everybody? Most people cannot fight with me, even though I'm a monk, especially because I'm a monk. Can I whack it? Oh, 感谢师傅. But does it mean you can do it? No. Or rather, does it mean you should do it? You shouldn't. So I told that student, I said, I don't know lah, but if you ask me, money should be about the how. It only enables you to buy it. It shouldn't determine whether you can, you should be buying it or not. No. And who decide the why? When they are kids, you should decide what. Even if they have the money, you should decide. And even when they grow up, because they respect you, they feel that your decisions and you have wisdom. So even though they have the money, even when they are in their 20s, they earn their own money already, they are some so and so in society, out of respect, they would consult you, especially if it's a big matter. Now, that is the time where you exercise discretion in terms of asserting your position. You know, by the time your children is like in their 20s, 30s, or getting married already, then you want to give counsel, not give instruction. Counsel means you just share what you think, but not as a, you must do what I tell you. No, you know, but nowadays is reverse, you know. Parents, when their children is like 5-year-old, they want to counsel their children. Oh, I just share with you what I think. Then what do you think? Then when they reach their teenage years and 20s, no, you do what I tell you. Hey, to balik. You know, our involvement in the decision process is flip, you know. Yeah, I don't know lah. I've never been a parent. So some parents may disagree. Yeah, but I think children, when they are young, they need us to really hold their hands and say, no, do this. There's a time and place to explain things. When they are 5-year-old, that's probably not the best time. When they are late primary school, early sec, then explain. But still, you should get to decide on things. The why is decided by you. When they are in late primary school, upper primary, early secondary, and above, you start to explain to them the rationale behind the why, because they start to be able to remember and understand. But when they're 3-4-year-old, today you tell them, afternoon forget already. Yeah. So I have to be, it's, I mean, I say this and again, you see how tricky it is. So all of you who are parents, wow, 辛苦了. Yeah. And you all are so courageous. Huh? Samsara not difficult enough. Still get married. Get married not difficult enough. Still have kids. Get kids not enough. Still want to attain enlightenment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a fantastic Friday ahead.